said, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the president of Pittsburg State University, Dr. Steve Scott.
Oh, good morning. What a beautiful day it is on this campus. I mean, just gorgeous outside, and we decided since it's so beautiful, let's have a press conference. It's a perfect day to do it. Inside. Yesterday we did one outside. Had a great time with that as well. But really glad you're all here. What a great mix of people in terms of alums, players, community members. So we have some city commission members, chambers represented, and just so many different people from so many different aspects of Pittsburgh and the community, and also from university. Really appreciate you being here. You might remember September of 2010, we were at this same podium, and Jim Johnson and I were, as we began to talk about athletics and the future of athletics at Pittsburgh State. And I wish I'd written this line. I didn't. It was Jim's line. He talked about that we want to be the best of the best. When he said that, I thought, well, that's a high order. But you know what? We're moving that direction. And what a great line that was, and how today's opportunity and today's announcement really fits right in with that statement that Pittsburgh State University does want to be and deserves to be among the best of the best. It's a great vision for athletics program, but we also believe it's a great vision for the entire institution. And I think across this campus you see us competing and achieving at a national level and even an international level. Well, you know that to make this happen, we have to have great faculty. We have to have great staff. We've got to have inspirational coaches. We've got to have an engaged alumni and community. And of course, we have to have state-of-the-art facilities. Our students and our student athletes deserve that. So we are garnering national attention. It's been pretty clear from the last year, what a year we've had. Can't have to pinch myself every once in a while and think, did we really just have that year? And we did. Pretty amazing situation. But our students, our faculty, our coaches, community, all of us really share in the successes of this year. And there's no doubt also, I've got to mention, anytime we talk about moving forward with Pittsburgh State University, and Patrick and I were just talking about this, we talk about moving forward with the support of the city. And what's good for Pittsburgh State is good for the city of Pittsburgh. And we love that connection, that relationship we have. We're so proud that you guys are here and that you're a part of this. We also have an extraordinary relationship with our alumni and our donors. I mean, you think about the size of Pittsburgh State University and the location of Pittsburgh State, but then you think about the donors that we have and the way they step up day after day after day so that we can have announcements like this, and so we can have the facilities and the kinds of things we have at Pittsburgh State. It's really pretty extraordinary. Well, that support, all of that together, and those successes really lead us to address some of the deficits that we have, some of the shortcomings we have, and really to begin to envision something beyond what anybody else does have. And that's what we're here today to talk about, that next step. But just look back just a little bit and you think about the Bryant Student Health Center. What a great addition that's been to the campus. The Student Rec Center, the Tyler Research Center, and of course, Carney Smith Stadium. And that facility is recognized nationally as one of the finest football atmospheres that you're going to find any place in America, and I'd say at any level. But all of those projects came together because of our alumni support, friends support, city support, community support, on and on. It took all of us working together to make those things happen. Well, today we're ready to announce the next step, of course. And the next step really involves the Weede Physical Education Building. And I'm one of those people that I actually had a swimming class in the old gym. Remember the old gym, some of you? Yeah. I had a swimming class in that. That was quite an experience. And Joe Murphy taught swimming. Ken, you remember Joe Murphy? He never got in the pool. He taught swimming. I never quite understood that. But I learned those strokes. But what an experience that was then as the Weede opened in the early 1970s, and we began to have classes there and experience that, and what a great facility that was. But 40 years later, it has a lot of needs. What we're laying out now, and many of you have seen before, as we've talked about our plans for that facility, but really we've laid out a very bold plan that will allow us to bring an athletic experience to our fans and to our student athletes that really is beyond compare in Division II. It's going to serve for a foundation of growth and success and help us move to be among the best of the best. So phase one of this project will take place this summer. And some of it's already begun. Isn't that right? And we don't have a very long window of construction opportunity. You know that, right? Just want to make sure we're all clear on that. Because we have commencement, and then we have the start of school, and Coach E would like to have everything ready to go when volleyball practice starts, so very short window. But today's announcement and the work that that's going to take place this summer is really because of the support of two proud Gorilla alumni who are with us today. I'm extremely pleased to announce that Alan and Roberta Wetzel are providing the leadership gift in the amount of $1.2 million for the renovation of John Lance Arena. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I met and visited with Alan and Roberta for the first time. Kathy and I drove up to Manhattan to a K-State basketball game. We were playing K-State, and Michael Beasley was playing for K-State, if you remember that. And, Coach, remember that? We probably had more fun than you did because we were watching Michael Beasley, and you were watching him too, I think. But what an experience that was, and really got to know Roberta and Alan that day as we sat and watched the game and visited about their interest in Pittsburgh State. And then from then, we've had a lot of lunches and dinners together and different opportunities to even be in their home and visit with them and get to know them. And these are two passionate people for Pittsburgh State University and for basketball, I would say. They have a deep love for each other, that's very clear, but certainly a deep love for Pittsburgh State University. You know, they met on a Pitt State basketball trip in 1958. Some of this will get you. And they've been together ever since. A two-time basketball letterman with the Gorillas, Alan played for and later coached with PSU's Hall of Fame men's basketball coach, John Lance. Roberta was a cheerleader, active in campus, and an ardent supporter of athletics. They both graduated in I think, 1959 and 1960. I won't say which is which. They both majored in physical education, graduating with bachelor's of science degrees from Pittsburgh State University. And after spending many years teaching and coaching, they'd go on to form Business Systems Incorporated, an electronic business supply company based in Wichita. And Alan credits his time with John Lance for providing him with the skills necessary for success in business. This is what he said. I learned the importance of teamwork, leadership, and preparation. And for Roberta and me, our lives really began at Pittsburgh State University. We want to help students have the same wonderful experience we had and have the tools that they need to be successful. And now involved in renovating an arena that carries the name of Coach John Lance. It's a great story. Alan and Roberta, on behalf of Pittsburgh State University, thank you for your generosity, your leadership, your support, your energy, your passion, but most of all for your friendship. Thank you very much. I think Roberta's going to make a few comments.
As he talked, I could probably talk for an hour about just things like Joe Murphy's swimming class. But I would like to take one moment to acknowledge the community of Pittsburgh. When in 1957, when Pittsburgh State was selected to go to the National Championship Bowl, there was no provisions for the team, let alone for the rest of us. And so the community of Pittsburgh contributed a considerable amount of money to send a bus with the cheerleaders, the students, and some of the other people. And I wanted you to know that the sponsor of that bus was Cora Smith, the head football coach's wife, and Joe Murphy's wife. And that was how we all got to that very first national championship football game. So thank you. I don't know that we ever had the opportunity to thank the community of Pittsburgh, but they were really very, very supportive in that area. So we just simply want to acknowledge President Scott and Jim Johnson's vision and leadership to make this happen. And we also want to acknowledge former coach Gene Iva for bringing us back to the basketball program at Pittsburgh State. And we hope that this gives nothing but future success for the basketball and the volleyball at Pittsburgh State.
When Roberta and I talked earlier, she commented on how excited the players are. And so we think a lot about the different aspects of what we're doing, but fundamentally, it's about the student athletes and the experience that they're going to have, and that's what you're going to transform with this gift. So we have a lot of work to do. We know that as you look at the flyer about the Weede expansion and renovation. But what a great step forward this is today. And so we would welcome people who have an interest in this project. If they want to talk to us about it, we'd love to do so, because we think it's a project of great merit and really advance the institution. At this time, I will ask the person who got us into all this by talking about being the best of the best, Jim Johnson, our athletic director, to come up and talk a little bit about the details of this project. And Jim, I do want to express my appreciation to you for the work you've done to get us this far. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. It's certainly a team effort led by certainly our president, our president's council, and a lot of other people in this room. So we just, those of us that reside over in Weede, are just fortunate to be a part of that team and be part of the support that we enjoy from our students, our faculty, our staff, and certainly the community of Pittsburgh. When we first began to talk with Alan and Roberta about this project, they were clear about the fact that, as Dr. Scott said earlier and Roberta alluded to, they wanted to give the students the same opportunities they had during their time at Pittsburgh State, and challenged us to create a vision to make that happen. A couple of specifics that I have to tell in the several conversations that we've had around the table. Alan told me two things that he really wanted to see happen, and he told me when I walk in those doors to go in the arena to a game, I want to see maple hardwood floor, wall to wall. We're going to make that happen. He also told me when those teams are in there practicing, it's really important that we have that hardwood floor, but that we have baskets. We have a lot of them, so that when we're practicing, everybody has a basket to practice on and a place to shoot. I think Coach Muff last night at the awards dinner mentioned a couple of times our free throw percentage needs to improve, so we'll make sure those baskets happen. But Alan, that hardwood floor and those baskets you and I've talked a lot about, we're going to have those in there in August, thanks to you guys. By providing this leadership gift for this project, Alan and Roberta are really helping us improve the collegiate experience, the athletic experience, not only for our student athletes and coaches, but for every student on our campus when they attend events and our fans who attend events. But I think it's important to note that this experience that we will create through this renovation not only will benefit athletic events, but it'll benefit a lot of other events like Teacher Interview Day and others, but most notably commencement. It'll create really a new atmosphere for our commencement events each year. As we begin to talk about the event center concept, how those dominoes would fall, what would go first, how this would play out over the next few years, we first thought it made sense to do the event center first, get that built and in place, and then come in and renovate the arena. The more we talked about that, and the more we talked with Roberta and Alan, the more we discussed maybe looking at that a little bit different and doing the arena first, getting that piece in place as a showcase to go along with our stadium, with our other facilities on campus, and create really a first-class environment for basketball and for volleyball. And we ultimately decided that was the best plan. That was the best way to lay this out. I've done this in a few places in small groups, but this is a perfect time. I want to publicly thank and recognize Coach Jewett, Russ Jewett, because he, when we talked about laying this out a little bit differently and looking at the flooring and the seating project first, that would mean that the indoor track for a temporary period of time would go away. And when we sat down and talked about that, Russ said, if this is the best way to get the whole project done, and if this makes more sense to do it in this order, then we're on board. And I want to thank him, his staff, and his student athletes for looking at it from that point of view for a way to get this done first, then move on to the event center, and in time have not only the best volleyball, basketball facility in the country, but the best indoor track facility in the country. And there will be a period of time where they'll have to look differently at practice and competition, but I think it just tells the story about the team that we have in athletics and the team players that we have in athletics, and how to go about getting the best thing done in the best order, but that's going to be the best result for the entire program. Russ, thank you very much. As Dr. Scott mentioned, construction on the first phase has begun. We're looking at this entire project in 3 phases, and phase 1 is underway. They're over there working right now as we're over here celebrating this. We've taken up the floor. Some of the pieces you see over on the tables, you can compare and look at what the floor that we had since 1996 looked like compared to the new floor that will be in place in August and September. You can see some pictures of what the seating will look like. They're finishing up in terms of phase 1. The old floor is up and is in pieces over there. We're going to offer all of you and anybody else a chance to get a piece of that history if you're interested. That information will be on our website in the next few days. The concrete work, the utility work is what's going on today. As a matter of fact, they're finishing that up as we look toward commencement in a couple of weeks. Once commencement is over, the old bleachers will come out. The new floor will go in, and then the new seating will go in. And by the time that we're ready to kick off volleyball season, we will have a completely new, updated look in John Lance Arena, and one that will be the envy of certainly the MIAA, but most all of Division II. As we kick off next year, then still included in phase 1 of that project will be to begin to come up with concepts and plans for what we'll do up on the mezzanine area. That look will change as well as part of phase 1, and we'll continue to work on that in the coming months, and then move on to the other phases of our project. So again, we're off and running. We could not have done this, we could not have started this and committed to starting a long-term project with not only Alan and Roberta's generosity, but their leadership in making that first gift, and their challenge to us to have that vision and get started. And we're so appreciative of you for that. I'd like to ask Coach Muff, Coach Lord, Coach Ebe, I know is here somewhere. You guys come up. We have just a couple of tokens of our appreciation here for you guys. We'll give Coach. So Alan and Roberta, could you join us here just for a second? We wanted to make sure that you have a piece of the floor that was in John Lance Arena for the past 16 years. I've seen Alan's basement. He's got a lot of memorabilia in there, and I bet he can find a place for this.
Sure can.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
In closing, I again want to thank Alan and Roberta for their generosity and their belief in our vision. Maybe most importantly, their belief in our vision. Pittsburg State has a rich tradition of success, both on the field and in the classroom. And I hope you'll join the Wetzels and our community on campus and in Pittsburgh and countless other supporters to ensure that this success continues. And this is certainly the first step in making that happen in what will be the Weede Athletic Complex as we move forward. Thank you.